Good.
Okay.
Well, you're hot weather, so you will. We're having massive heat out this way and lots of humidity, so it's kind of icky.
Oh, well, we switched places, I guess.
Right. Well,
we
so what?
86, really cool out here.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So
So,
what are you burning to talk about today?
well, in the 2000s, when the government took over education and established the No Child Left Behind law into the system of teaching, which took all of the arts out of the teaching system of the grade, those grades. You heard that?
It didn't happen for my kids. My kids still had the arts, so I'm not sure.
Well, it did. It happened all around the country, and the arts were just taken out. And reading, writing, and arithmetic, and we had the national averages, and the whole thing was set up from the central process of No Child Left Behind, which sounds great, except for that the child that was left behind was the creative child. It was the dyslexic child. It was a child who couldn't. If I'd been in that at that time going through high school, I would have had a horrible time. It was, but it's the way the teaching. I know the teachers had a really difficult time shifting and trying to get situated into just reading, writing, and arithmetic, and the other arts. The arts just moved into the ethers. And now we wonder why we have young men who are doing the things that they're doing. If these people, these young men, are part of the whole group of us who would have been left behind, how do they know what their life should be? How do they know where they're going? How do they know if their heart calls for being an author and nobody has taught them about writing? If their heart is calling for being a singer or a playwright or an actor or a painter, or all of the aspects of our creative femifesting energy has been shifted so that they weren't taught it, and they were supposed to learn about reading, writing, and arithmetic, which are like, yeah, I'm glad other people know about that, but boy, don't try to judge my position in life with those. And the crazy thing about it was, the idea was that no child would be left behind. I mean, that was the law. But look at, from then on, in the kindergarten through high school, this system of testing whether a child was, and even things like earlier on, they had car mechanics that you learned, and you had a whole system that was taught. You were taught home economics wasn't even considered. It was a time when the whole testing project process was how you were able to do reading, writing, and arithmetic. These systems that were sent from the central government out into the schools. And I think that what we did was put the emphasis where that was important. But look what it did to the people that couldn't do that.
Right.
And
if
a young man thought that writing a book was not manly, if he thought that the other things like painting or singing or dancing or drama, or if that wasn't manly, then what is manly?
Right.
You go out and you shoot something.
Right.
So
there's
maybe,
some that commented and said, this is so important. I am a teacher and I have been in education in some way since I was very young. I had the arts and I'm so grateful, but yes, the young people don't today.
And we took away cursive writing. In my day, I wasn't able to do the cursive writing very well, but the people that did were the ones that really were so proud of their handwriting. I mean, it was an art.
Right, right.
So look at what we've done. We've shifted away from femifesting our whole aspect of our being into manifesting what can be tested. You can't test the femifesting stuff.
Right. I just want to say, somebody else commented, I work hard to incorporate art into my daughter's life because I know she's not receiving the incredible arts influence that I had. I see the difference it makes for kids and it's astonishing. And then somebody else just commented, cursive.
Let's have a conversation from our audience, because I think this is huge.
Well, somebody just posted that they said cursive writing is part of mind control. No, it's bad. I never heard that before.
The cursive writing is part of mind control?
Right.
Well, I don't see it that way. It's a creative art.
Right.
So then, yeah, it's what allows the individual to put down on ink, with ink and paper, something that is beautiful, instead of just square things that we have to do now.
Right. Somebody's saying, I'm so happy my daughter homeschools and goes to art. And then somebody else is saying, absolutely, cursive writing is something I practice. Let me see if anybody else's cursive writing is beautiful. I think cursive writing is beautiful and I practice it when I journal. It's an art in itself. I don't think of it in an evil way. I never have. And yeah, so.
Think of dance. Think of what girls were taught in home ec about cooking.
Right.
Think about the whole process of writing a play, or writing a book, or learning how to fix cars, or, all of these things that were prior to the No Child Left Behind. These were things that people actually were taught, and the teachers loved it. The teacher, you had teachers who really, really wanted to teach this to their students. They wanted to teach painting. They wanted to teach, all of these different hairdressing, for crying out loud. You know, all of these things that were just thrown out the window, and reading and writing and arithmetic are the central things that we're taught. How, you know, we've known that there's something when these young men are coming around and shooting other people. We've known there's something basically wrong. And it's the fact that they haven't been allowed to express anything that is from their feminist aspect of their being.
Yeah, I agree. And I think
as far as learning is concerned. Yeah.
I feel, I hear you on this, and I just feel like all of those arts are just such an expansive, so it is that femifesting side of the brain. It's that expansive side of the brain that then allows the other stuff to be even more more expansive, you know, like the linear learning. It's nice when the linear learning can have that expansive side to it, and then it can really explode into some interesting things.
Absolutely.
So somebody else is saying, oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Let's hear.
Yes, I hope you post this live because I think it should be shared. This is something I believe so strongly, and all of the words here are valuable for our children moving forward. People are agreeing that they're teaching garbage to kids. Schools are now focused on gender. Somebody says we both look beautiful.
Thank you.
Working our hands is the secret to creativity and is the greatest motivator to the masculine. That's cool.
You know, what are we teaching our young men? You know, to teach a young man how to dance. Can you imagine? That is an art that's so
right,
like gymnastics. You know, those are really important things, and they're considered, I don't know what. They're not taught.
Right.
A child has a special way, you know, is being directed, especially by their parents or something. But in the whole system, it's been just chucked under the desk.
Yeah, it's so two people. One is saying, how can we help change this? And somebody responded by saying, take our kids out of public school.
No, I don't agree with that. I think our public school needs to claim our kids and bring them back. That's what we've done. We've kicked the creative kids, so that they don't know what's what. Those are the ones that are being left behind now. The idea was no child left behind, so the concept was good, but in the process, the ones that like me, I mean, I couldn't have done. Well, I don't know where I'd be if I hadn't been able to use my creative energy and that juice within me wildly, which is what I talk about, you know,
right.
The whole idea of being able to use this in a way that other people can get it and we can teach it and we can work with it, and the world becomes alive again. If we've squashed all of that so that it wasn't important or that it was evil, then what have we done to our people, to our children?
Yeah, I just feel like, while I agree with you that changing the schools, it would be the way to go. I just feel like, I don't know how that is possible. I mean, I've, you know, and I shouldn't say that, but I've had a lot of teachers over the course of my career as patients, and to see where they have gone and how much, like, it's so disappointing. Like they're so disheartened because they're teaching to pass the tests, right? That's all they're
Yes.
teaching to now is national scores and the this, that, and the other thing. And it's just so sad. And it feels like there's no way to turn that around.
We really,
So
really need to reclaim our feminine aspect of ourselves. We're doing a lot of talking about it, about, how, but what we're talking about is being more masculine, or being whatever it is that we're talking about, which I don't understand at all, and not even allowing the true nature of at least half of our population be even expressed or taught.
mm,
And if the parents in the last generation, in the generation just before, I don't know where our generations are, but anyway, if even the parents haven't been able to learn this aspect of themselves, wow, you know,
right.
what's happening?
Right. So somebody is saying, I know many parents who homeschool and unschool their children and are thriving. Public schools are merely to institutionalize our kids.
See, and that's wrong, because the public schools were created so that we could have the important aspect of everybody. That's why it was No Child Left Behind. But the problem
Right.
was the manifesting became what was important, and the manifesting was just tossed out the window.
Well, because do you think I mean, part of it stems, so, I mean, we think about it's the parents who are just putting their kids in school and maybe not paying attention to that creativity because they didn't have it themselves. So it's just going
That
forward and going forward. And if they believe that, getting into a certain college and, just climbing that, manifesting that corporate ladder or whatever it is the way to go, then it is a little bit tricky to turn that around, because we've got to get to the parents to say, no, look, your kids aren't thriving and here's why.
yeah, it's a basic re-educating of ourselves, our teachers. I mean, I've been talking about the dogs,
Right,
but what about children that have been left behind?
right, right.
The teachers that are struggling so hard to
Yes.
be able to help these children who have stuff to express and understand about themselves and their neighbors, and how to love the whole process of life, and that life is so creative and so full of different aspects of creation and love and so on, that we are just, well, we're dying to express it. That's what's happening.
So that does feel like this huge, not to be the downer here, but it does seem like this is a huge, almost insurmountable thing to turn that around. I mean, that's not normally the stance I take on something. I'm usually the glass is half full. But that seems like such a, like such a hard thing. It almost does seem easier. Well, let's just pull all of our kids out and put them into, homeschooling or private schools, or the, unschooling, or some other different, like if everybody left the public schools, then they would be forced to change.
Yeah, but but if we those of us who are talking right now to each other, and those who will then be talking to other people, and then
Right.
we'll be talking to other people. Why do we have to keep always throwing something out in order to let something good come in? It's why don't we understand that life has to move, it has to flow from one thing to another. Parents have to teach children, teachers have to teach children, children have to learn from whoever they can learn from, and then teach what they can teach. It's a loving flow of life that says we love each other and we are glorious beings who are on this planet to share something which we have just misunderstood. I don't think that it's evil. I think it's that, you know, that this has happened. I think it's something that we have to reclaim. I think it's part of what we've been talking about, reclaiming our true humanity. And true humanity is this dual nature of being masculine and feminine at an equal level, which that the aspect of our being that is creative is what happens during the pregnancy. That's that whole femifesting aspect of our being. But it has to manifest when it takes its first breath. I mean, it can't manifest unless it's fully femifested during the pregnancy. And see what we've done, and we've done this to birthing. We've allowed that to become such a aspect of our feminine nature that we don't want to feel that pain.
Right.
Well,
right.
I'm suggesting we torture ourselves or anything like that. But what I am suggesting is let's reclaim the power that we women have is birthing our own babies. Now that doesn't mean that sometimes we need help. Sure, when we need help, then we call for it.
Right.
But if we don't understand that it is our basic nature, we as humans came in to create life, live life, die, and go on. It's what is part of who and what this whole human race is looking for, looking around for where is this? Where is it gone? You know, is it a bird that has just flown away, or what's happened? Well, I think that those of us who can grasp this concept about reclaiming what it is that we've lost in the schools is something that in just our expression and our understanding individually, the only way it's going to change is as individuals change.
Right.
And as individuals reactivate within themselves this understanding of what our true humanity is, which has all to do with love, and that the love and life work together, we can begin to really have this thing change. That our whole idea that we have a democracy here says that people like us who are talking right now can talk to other people like maybe have some ideas about this, maybe disagree with us, but maybe in the process of thinking about it and actually looking into it, maybe we, the people, can not leave children behind. I mean, this brings tears to my eyes, Think
Yeah.
about it.
So I just want to, there's a couple of comments here. So someone says they want to help. The teachers are spent, exhausted, and ordered to fulfill outside expectations. We need to help the teachers who are parents to understand this. We can do this.
We can do it. Each one of us can do our little part. It's not a little part, it's huge. It's the reality, which then creates the reality with another person, within another person. We don't just one child behind, whichever a child it is. We, yeah. There's comments.
Yeah. There's so someone else is saying it's wonderful to hear all of this. Thank you. Yes, we need to reclaim our true humanity. Someone said, I read Birthing from Within, which was all about art and creativity, your whole pregnancy. Cool. That's it so far. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it just feels like, you know, it's that one lighting the candle, you know, the one flame at a time. And I also feel like the fact that how many grandchildren and great grandchildren do you have?
I have, what is it, John? 10 grandchildren.
Oh, let's see.
We have
Yeah.
to
10
reach.
grandchildren, 11 great grandchildren, and 1 great great grandchild.
Yeah, 11 grandchildren and 1 great great grandchild named Lydia.
Ooh, I love that. So I feel like there's something to be said for the closeness of that, you know, you being the elder of the family and you as the matriarch of this lineage of people are proposing this idea. And so all of your children and your children's children and so forth are getting this information that is coming down, you know, from you, trickled through the parents with this whole idea. And I think that there is something so powerful about that intergenerational housing and connectedness. And because it is the people like you, or, you know, in a generation between me and you, that remember these things and can help create them. You know, I think there's something about that.
Katie, thank you, because think of what we've done to our elderly people. We've medicated them into foolishness.
Right.
We've got them sitting in nursing homes where they have to be just, again, it brings tears to my eyes, where they just have to be taken care of. And and these are the people who have the stories. I mean, how many of these, if they were given a chance, could tell stories that would just, you know, get their grandkids jumping for glee?
Right. Right. Yeah. So I think I don't know what the answer is, but I agree with you in that all of this somehow needs to be looked at and addressed. And again, if it's just the one person at a time, I mean, I personally went out and we found the art. We have a particular high school in our community that is educational center for the arts. And so your kid can go to a school, regular high school, for the first half of the day, and then they get bused down to the art school. But again, you have to apply, you have to audition to get in. So it's not for everyone. It's for the kids that are already sort of on the higher end of things. You know what I
Thought about it. The others have not been taught.
Right.
The others know it exists. It's been It's been shoved under the desk, and life and love have to move, and they have to grow, and they have to, it's the whole process of what life is all about. Here's something. We women, when we learn something, our inner gut level says we teach it,
Mm.
and that's been shut down. The teachers that you talk to are hurting.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of the nurses and the caregivers are hurting because, they the creativity has been taken away. My son John, he's a retired Presbyterian minister, but while he was doing his ministry, he would do his sermon and so on, and then he took his guitar and went to the nursing homes and sang whatever the people wanted, and they loved it. The whole idea of listening to a guitar and singing along some hymns that you had when you were a child or something, just
Mm-hmm.
lit them up. And,
What, Steve?
huh?
What do you want me to lift up? What?
So
Um,
what? I didn't understand what you're saying.
You said lift them up.
Lift them up with joy and understanding and music and the fact that they have the right to be heard and that they don't need
Right.
to just and be nothing, just more medicated, so on.
Oh,
Maybe they need medication, but maybe not. Maybe
right.
we're given just a little bit of femifested love and concern for that aspect of their being, not just their blood pressure or
Mm-hmm.
their cholesterol or the things that are being manifested and treated. Our nurses are having trouble.
Right.
It's the caregiving people in our culture are being shoved aside, and
Mm.
that's not right. I mean, uh, well,
I think certainly COVID did not help matters. So,
it helped members. It got so bad that people began to think about it. Maybe,
yeah, I don't know. From all the teachers, the teachers just said that it was so hard and it's,
Yeah.
it just put everybody backwards and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff.
In going backwards, we begin to look forward. It's everything's a teacher.
Yeah.
COVID made us stop and say, "What's wrong here?"
Right. No, I do agree with that. And so somebody's also saying, which this is so cool, and I want to look this up. There's a Netflix series called Live to 100 about people over 100 around the world, and they all live with family and do art daily. That's so cool.
Yeah, yeah. That's why
So we take,
I knit.
yeah.
My fingers have to keep going. It's essential.
Well, that's a really cool. Thank you for putting that out there. That there's a Netflix series like that. That will be really fun to watch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. See, the beautiful thing about this, Katie, is we really do have an audience.
Yes,
And
you do.
hey, gang, we've femifested that audience.
Yeah.
It's been one person after one person after one person has come together, and we've talked about it, and we can talk about stuff like this. And this is our
Mhm.
it's our femifestation, but it's actually right now we are in the process of manifesting stuff that has been femifesting for a long, long time.
Mm.
I mean, just
Yeah.
talking about it.
Right. Right. That's, yeah, it's, well, and your book came to birth in this time, which is just such a cool thing. So, yeah. And speaking of your book, where are we with, are you still doing 1 million interviews every week? And how's that all going? I just touch on that.
Yeah,
You know, we
pretty.
have people every week. So, you know, let's just share with them about your book a little bit.
John, can you give us the numbers?
Well, she has to do an interview in 20 minutes.
Yeah, I
Okay.
have an in 20 minutes, which is, where is it, Germany?
I don't know.
Yeah. And anyway, you know, it's people are really hungry for this reach of beyond, you know, beyond what is being offered. And because the whole statement, my spirit bears witness with thy spirit, is still the active love aspect of each one of our beings. I mean, we should have no child be left behind. I mean, that's absolutely what we should do. But in the process, what is that child looking for? What is that child really reaching for? You know, and it's that the parents' job, but it's the teacher's job, but it's the old folks' job, it's the grandparents' job, it's the work that we all came to do in this lifetime, where we have so much in the way of technology that we can do it. Think about it. I can talk to all of you people right now, sitting in my chair,
Yeah.
while while Katie picked it up almost 3 years ago, isn't it?
Yeah. 2.5 years ago. Yeah.
And started, and look at what we can do. Who says
So,
change this? Who says
right.
we can do, bring arts back into this classroom? I mean, that one thing would change a huge, huge, uh, one of the painful things that's going on in our world.
So somebody also commented that, you know, we need to go back to to village living, village lifestyle.
Absolutely. We need the village for living medicine. Thank you. That's exactly what we need.
And even, you know, that phrase, when everyone refers to raising children and they say, well, you know, it takes a village. And it's just so interesting. I mean, I think having those smaller communities, like even your neighborhood or your street, or, you know, like I live in a neighborhood right now that is the most community oriented neighborhood that I've ever lived in. And I could see how I could impact children in the neighborhood just by being where I live and who I am and how I show up for little kids, you know, like, so I think that there's something that's a great way to help light that torch, is just in your neighborhoods. And even if it was just go put, you know, a box of crayons in everybody's mailbox and or I don't know what the answer is, but like create some way to have a smaller community thing that's you know, community oriented. I don't know.
Well, you're talking. Yeah. I I live in a neighborhood where we all have walls, and we you know, the next house has walls and so on and so on.
Mm-hmm.
But there's somebody in our neighborhood, and I don't even know who it is yet, who has put a mailbox, put a box out by the street, where we could share books. We, you know, a library box. And so we could take a box, we could take a book out and read it, and then put another book in and
Right.
share things like that. And, you know, and people are just beginning in this neighborhood in Scottsdale, Arizona, to talk about having maybe when the weather cools off, have a community picnic or something like that.
Nice.
It's that kind of a reawakening call to our true humanity. It says, we people love people.
And that is the benefit when you were saying that, you know, when I said COVID was hard on all the teachers, but that is one of the benefits of COVID, was that it got people to really understand the need for connection and community and being with other people. And I know a guy who's an artist, and he does these little pieces of art, and he what does he do? He writes a little letter on the back of it, and he's just placing them in like the park, or he just places them and tells people, you know, if you find this and this resonates with you, please accept it as a gift from me. So it's like this found art, which is just such a great thing.
Isn't that lovely?
Yeah.
Isn't that lovely? And
Yeah.
the you know, art that is it just has to be something that is nice. You know, it doesn't have to be great art. It has to be something that speaks to another person's heart.
Right.
And
Right.
you know, it's just something nice, something that people would like to feel. And it's like the little hats that a lot of my older people who I know knit for newborns.
Yeah.
Hospitals, you know, things like that are just, nobody knows who's done it, and it doesn't matter. The fact of the matter, there's somebody out there who cares enough for this person to allow it. They'll never know who they are, maybe, but that maybe sometime they will.
Right. It's such a great conversation that I feel we need to continue to have, because you know how I feel about the arts, and my own personal experience lately with art and coming back really into art and being able to express that is just so amazing. And so I think, I think we need to continue this conversation for sure.
Absolutely. And comments from our audience.
Yeah.
You know, let's get some feedback on this. And if you want to publish an article in the newspaper, let somebody who knows how to write do that, or whatever, you know.
Right.
What calls to you? Right.
Oh, so good. Well, I think we should sign off now so you have time to be ready for your next interview in Germany.
Yep, I do just have to leave. So,
okay.
Thanks for this conversation. It makes my heart sing.
Yes, love you. And thank you, everyone, for all your comments. It was really great and fun to hear from everybody. And we will be back next week at 1 o'clock, sorry, 1 o'clock Eastern. And Gladys, you have an amazing week, and I love you, and I will talk to you soon.
Absolutely. Right back at all. Love you.
Okay. Bye, everyone.